Okay, so let it be said. So typically it's associated with Benjamin Franklin, the quote that beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy.
Yeah.
It's like this introduction is proof that Josh loves us.
Yeah, and wants us to be happy.
Wants us to be happy. Hello, I am Jerford K. Horcrims, your internet friend. And however it came to be, you have found yourself ensconced, indeed gripped in our talons for Twitch's brewing show, Acquisitions Intoxicated. I am joined, as almost always, by Acquisitions Intoxicated brewmaster Eric J. Benson. Although, I mean, there's every possibility that you may be saying to yourself, who is this Benson character?
Yeah. Are there other names?
Are there other names? Absolutely. Obviously, and we can go down the list. Edge Benson. Mm-hmm. And already, you know, fully a third of the chat is like, oh, okay, Edge. Yeah. Okay, obviously.
Yeah, we're done. Okay, yeah.
Exactly. The notorious EJB. There's the
Another
second
one.
Third.
Yeah.
And then, but there are still those in the chat who are like, who is this interloper? He's not welcome here. This is a precious and holy order. And we maintain strict operational security. Don't worry, Azerbaijan. That's the third one. So now you're dialed in. Now you have absolutely everything that you need to be part of the process.
My best stream is what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely everything that you need to be part of the process. Welcome aboard, of course.
This is a good question. Is AC Inc. a sponsor of Gabir Motors? I think, could we get a piece of sponsorship on the car? I feel like that needs to happen.
Well, it certainly could. I mean, here's the fact. I do know someone.
Yeah.
I know, let's call them the key players involved in Acquisitions Intoxicated. I think that I can probably make that love connection occur.
Yeah.
I can bring the principals of each of these organizations into direct contact.
Yeah, have a meeting and sit down, face to face, across the virtual table.
We need to figure out if it's a situation where it's like, is this it? Now,
right.
But there's actually, so now we've gone through the introduction. You know who I am. I'm your internet friend, Jerford K. Horcrims. Although occasionally I am called Holkin because I am brother to the whole. Now, and you're like, okay, and who's this other fellow? Well, obviously that's the person with the litany of names that we've associated before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what is the purpose of the program? The purpose of the program is very simple. It is to give you that which you already own, which is to say, the art and science of brewing. Now, I can't tell you how pleased I am to have been goaded into this glorious return by my friends and allies here. Now, Josh, are you on the mic as well? Oh, they can't. You can't hear him. I can hear him.
Yeah,
and you should know
it's omnipotent.
Indeed. You should know that he advocated vigorously for the return of the program, and it seems that he was correct in this.
Eric
because
J.
I've already seen several subs just in the brief period I've been soft shoeing here at the beginning. Subs such as those from Dr. Space Plasma, Reduced Sanity, a lot of folks, and certainly I appreciate it. And also,
in cases, gifted subs to a lot of people.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's not. My window is relatively recent. It does not include these. Although I suppose I could load up Streamlabs at any time. Now, so the big takeaway, of course, is that obviously in this haunted modern context, there do have to be certain adjustments. Although, if it is something that people enjoy, I think that there's ways that we can try to maintain as many of the classic rituals as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the very, very oldest ritual is, of course, the one where I try and fail to introduce the grains to the aperture. I mean, certainly, I could pretend to do it.
I don't want to take on that mantle. That's what scares me. Now the dynamic is going to shift.
And so I was just going to say, so
because I have the old machine. I don't have that new one that you had so nicely.
Endless torment, endless anguish on my part, endless coals heaped atop.
Yeah. So I have to relive the first 2 years.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you have to relive the portion of the brewing show where visible shreds of plastic are cut off of the vessel and put into the brew itself. Yeah. Very traditional. Maybe it's a statement we're making of some kind, but
maybe it could be.
The fact of the matter is that of course Eric has this device in the home.
Yeah,
has another camera, can set up a camera, and so if we want to, my suggestion is that we do. We have an opportunity to shame Eric once a week, and let me tell you how invigorating that would be. Just to be in the catbird seat, for lack of a better term.
Right. Now you are Waldorf and Sandler instead of myself.
Exactly. I can be both at once.
Yeah.
I can hybridize. But absolutely, there are aspects of this ritual that we can maintain. For example, both Eric and myself have secured distinct products. That we can sample and then review for your use. After which we will engage in something quite traditional for the program, which is the creation of a recipe for the game that we're basically playing every night. So we've broadened the remit a little bit, right? So there's a lot of games out there. We're moving into that Babish realm. There's a lot of games out there that leverage these themes that are beyond purely the D&D context, and especially in Deep Rock Galactic, I think that there's a lot of fun stuff that we can say, and then absolutely. We can make a recipe that everyone can sample and enjoy. I think it'll be a fun challenge for the group, and it'll also be an opportunity for us to discuss Deep Rock Galactic incessantly. For the better part of an hour. So my thinking is that
okay with just that could be a
whole show. Exactly. Well, at any point, I can load Streamlabs OBS and we can just start playing Deep Rock Galactic instead.
Exactly.
So that's, if anything, that's the danger of this particular stream. But it really, really is incredible, and it's the newest update, the newest free update, I should say, is dropping in 2 days, and it's added some really, really fascinating interactions for you and your team to contend with inside the space of the game. So something to enjoy for sure. Viking Goat. See, this is why we're fucking doing it. Viking Goat says, "What is this Deep Rock Galactic they speak of?"
What? Holy shit! Oh my god!
Holy shit!
Listen, we need to have a talk.
Here, Viking Goat. Just send a mail to tycho@penny-arcade.com with your Steam ID, and something might materialize for you in the gift hole. Just investigate it. It's completely fucked. It's one of the best cooperative games of all time, and that's not even an exaggeration. This is one of those cases where a game enters early access and then leaves it. Imagine that universe. Imagine that it is released as an early access product and then is actually released eventually with 2 years of consistent improvements. And then after it comes out, they continue to give you more shit for nothing.
And it gets better. They make it even better.
That's the scenario. We'll get into it. Yeah. All right. We'll get into it. Essentially, that's a game where beers are buffs. Who else could do it? We're the ones that can do it. So,
what do you got? What do you have over there cooking in that can?
Well, listen, it would be my great pleasure to reveal all, Mr. Benson. So, as well as I do, that there was a profound ritual that has come up many times during the recording of the program.
No, I heard
and that was when, back in the day. So imagine the world before, right?
I don't know if I can do that. It's been too long.
You can. And I can with ease, because my phone is always saying, hey,
are you streaming at Game today?
Well, no, it isn't that. I mean, that's fine.
What happens to me
although that would be scary too. The schedule. Yeah, obviously the schedule is like, hey, remember when shit was cool? Yeah, it's all fucked. Yeah. Remember when we were writing the C-Team stuff, especially that first and second year, we had a very specific sort of like walking ritual. Yeah. That basically we were able to come up with some really, really crazy shit
Due to this ritual.
Then hopefully I was able to execute to your satisfaction during the program itself.
I loved every minute of it. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Sometimes I knew it was going well, because sometimes Eric would be there, but like not in the studio, but on the couch outside. And if Eric fell asleep, I knew that it was because he was so confident in the work that we had done that he could take a deserved rest. Didn't have
to worry about anything.
No, exactly. You know what?
He's in good hands.
He's got this. But essentially that adventure was right at the sort of, it was on the ramp up. I wouldn't even say it was the apex. It was on the ramp up to something like a brewing revolution in Ballard proper.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was a single block that had 5 brew pubs, all brand new, like nothing, like not excursions from Anheuser-Busch, like
right,
not one of their like sticky ass tendrils. You know what I mean?
It wasn't in Deep Rock Galactic. It wasn't a lich from the ceiling.
Oh, the cave leech. Exactly. No, it was not a sharp, hungry tendril.
No,
it was a legitimate novel expression.
Right.
And they were so dense there, but the adventure always started at Lucky Envelope.
Oh,
and so
fantastic!
And so you've probably seen this. This is this taller can here. A lot of local breweries here in town have moved to the 4 can instead of the 6 can, and the reason is because, I mean, in addition to every other fucked thing,
right?
If you're in that industry, rock and stone sticks. If you're in that industry, and Richter, thanks for the sub. It is basically, there's an aluminum shortage also.
Right. Aluminum shortage. There's so many reasons to make this type of style can.
Exactly. So now
shelf space too. Right?
Exactly. No, it's shelf space too. Yeah. Right. And so, but it really is just the facing, right? It's usually the front inch that they gauge it on. So they started shipping 4 tall cans instead of 6 regular cans. So, I mean, that's sort of where the situation is. But Lucky Envelope is a really cool award-winning brewery that has leveraged a bunch of really, really neat stuff. Their ENIAC IPA is basically sort of like their tentpole award winner that sort of the rest of their deal sort of revolves around. But there was always great experiments.
Every time we went there were brand new beers on tap.
It was every time, because we always did the taster 6 deep,
right?
There,
exactly,
because there was that much stuff. And then generally
every weekend, every Saturday they had like 4 new beers. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was just a really vital place. Super glad to see them.
It was so well received that when we started going or kept going, we weren't able to get in because it was so packed.
No, that's the fucked thing. We actually had to change our ritual.
Yeah.
Because eventually we could not physically get into the place. Those were dark tidings. And of course, the funny thing is that, Maritime, which is sort of curmudgeon-y, sort of like old school Ballard brewery.
Absolutely.
Right. They always, they're busy, but there's always a table.
Exactly.
And that's not what's happening over here. I mean, what was happening over there, just like was happening everywhere else on that block, is that beer was actually growing as a category.
Right.
And there were people getting into it as an enthusiast that maybe wouldn't have considered it previously. Right.
And it was the return of your local pub, right? Mm-hmm. Your local brewery that you could just go down and have their beer.
On the one hand, I could not physically get into my favorite place in town.
Right.
On the other hand, well, let's dwell on the first part. A little salty.
Little salty.
But moving to the other hand, the truth is that there was a lot of new people trying it, and if somebody's going to be getting into these liquids as a form of recreation or curiosity, Lucky Envelope is where they should be doing it.
That's where I want to see the brewery doing good, and then 2, it's great to see them do like you said, people experiencing it there.
Absolutely.
Instead of someplace that's just not up to par.
Sandzone, thank you so much. Yeah, After Lanterns, of course it returns. It never went anywhere. It was always in your heart. You have to keep Ack Int in your heart all the year. Now, so there's my 10-minute intro for my can of beer. What do you got? What do you got over there?
Hey guys, I got a bottle of Hellbent.
Yeah. So Hellbent.
Actually, I don't know much about this brewery. You do. This is your new shtick, right?
Hellbent is new. In fact, I've never seen a Hellbent beer that wasn't in sort of a plain aluminum can with like the sticker type label applied on the outside. I think that the runs, obviously you can find them in retail, but I don't think the runs are crazy. And my guess is that they're almost exclusively a local excursion for now,
and that's fine. I mean, that's not a bad way to play.
Yeah, they focus on they have a full range, but the experiments they're doing on the IPA side are pretty good. Now,
well, and what's really great is I have the fresh hop version of their Amarillo.
Shit,
and the love of Amarillo is true over here. Like one of my favorite hops.
Well, here. So let's take a look. So we've discussed this before. We have actually operated the show long enough.
Mm-hmm.
We've operated the show long enough that we've actually been through a couple fresh hop seasons, and Yakima Valley,
world renowned,
sort of like southeast of where we're situated right now.
Mm-hmm.
It enables American brewing in a lot of ways. Yeah. Like it's just that's what they do down there. Right. And then the truth is that hops as a plant, like they're still fucking with them. And so there's actually all kinds of experimental hops that have numeric names.
Literally numerals. Like I cannot believe that. It's
right. It's
still a science experiment.
They're still figuring it out, right? They don't have designations yet because they're too young, and in some cases too.
They
weird.
don't make it. Yeah, sometimes they don't make it through the testing, right?
But
that's like Lemon Drop, right? Like Lemon Drop was an amazing hop, but we still can't get it.
No, exactly right. It's really special. It's actually it's legit to play around with, but we have tried to incorporate it into brews before and then had to fall back to Citra or Belma.
Yeah.
Which is not going to do the same thing.
Right.
Right. Belma is on the orange blossom side. It's not if we're looking for that bite, Lemon Drop was very, very unique at delivering that. Yeah, but here's the information that you want. Hops, generally speaking, pasteurized, pelletized, kilned, compressed into a pellet. Yep. You can obviously you brew beer with that. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but
you don't have to.
All I would say, you could make a Groot, I guess, right? All I'm going to say about it is that a fresh hop is so different. A fresh hop is so different from
a pelletized.
You know what I would say? I would say that the fresh hop is essentially a situation where the hop has finally revealed its true form.
As it flourishes and opens.
Imagine the power level of the hop rising precipitously. And that's the situation. Yeah, exactly. But think about how
it actually even has the hair.
Think about the cone. The actual cone itself. So what I'm saying is that Amarillo is always going to be floral. It's always going to be spicy, and it's going to have a citrus adjacent thing with an orange nose, right?
Right.
But I have never had a fresh Amarillo here.
Oh, well.
Now,
let me tell you, I'm about to enjoy it.
I was just going to say, I want the notes. Now, Josh has given me, for the PAX Online purposes, has granted me the Samson CO1U Pro. So let's see if this device is capable of communicating the vigor and excitement associated with the opening of a can.
Oh. Listen, that sounded TV commercial worthy. At least
you let me know. Now, precious chat, are you enthursed by this? Have you been enthursed? It could be. Yes, Gravity Well says crisp. That's what I'm talking about. Cone Lavuv. You should know that Mike Krahulik, my good friend, also, Gabriel and Gabriel, is not really much of a drinker, although he's developed a dark thirst for cider.
Oh yeah.
But not really a beer fan generally. We've tried to tempt him a couple times and succeeded.
Yes, that's the main. That's one of the main missions. Is can we get Mike to like this beer? We know the spectrum that he's not. There's never going to be a chance that he's going to like it, right?
Well, and the irony, of course, is that we tried to ply our trade.
Yeah, and then.
Well, and remember we did like a beer flight that had like all kinds of like candies and like Skittles and like fucking Swedish fish.
Yeah.
And then what happened as a practical matter is that the alcohol in the beer just stripped out the chemicals from the color, like from the dye agents, and it made like 5 slightly different
it was amazing.
Poisons.
Yeah. There was one that was good that I can't remember which candy it was.
Yeah.
But the beer itself, Mike liked.
Exactly.
That was the thing.
That's the funny thing, is that we tried to trick him.
Yeah.
And then what happened as a practical matter was that he actually really liked a classic German style beer. And you would. Yeah. You would, because they've been good for hundreds of years.
There's a reason it's stuck around.
You don't gotta fuck with it too much.
Yeah.
Not too much. But anyway, so why don't you open that thing up and tell me what's going on with these Amarillo hops?
Oh yeah. So we got.
Yeah, was it the sweet? Essay says it was the Swedish fish. The Skittles did not work. Essay, and the reason they didn't work was because of the. It's like let's use all the gastronomic terms. It had notes of poison, I think is the.
As I'm pouring this, it just doesn't feel right without Jeff, not pouring.
I know. I sent him a mail this morning.
Yeah.
To just to say, hey man,
he is missed.
We're gonna miss you, because it's like I wish that we had a we need like a black and white sort of like montage of him learning to do that perfect pour.
Yeah.
But he did it though. That's the thing, is that he actually did it, and it was so good. He handled it. First of all, that color is sick, son.
I want Wonka Vision right now because this smells so good.
It would.
I mean, the love of Amarillo is there already, but
yeah, for it.
Guys.
So is the orange real? Is the orange real?
Yeah.
There's a sort of a brew. They don't do their own brewing. They just have 100 taps. It's over in Fremont. It used to be by the old office. Browers.
Yeah, Browers. Yeah, we went there a couple times.
Yeah.
That's where we went with Ryan after the Brewfest.
Exactly, because it was right there. But when they do fresh hop there, I had a fresh hop beer from there that I cried, and I'm not even going to try to make the case that I didn't cry. So it's not the same. Like it's fundamentally not the same.
I haven't tasted this yet, but this smells so good. I'm going to go back to the store, buy another set, and bring it over for Kill Team this weekend.
You
need to try this.
You can't do this. You can't do it now. You have to do it after the show. For now, we have to do the show now.
Okay, fine. I mean, it probably won't sell out.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're fucked. I mean, if it's as good as you say, you're fucked. Here, so put that in your hole. Dude, look at these eyebrows.
Those are Eugene Levy eyebrows. Oh my god.
That was some Muppet tier shit.
Okay.
So what do you got? First of all, what's the style? It's
just a pale ale.
It's okay, so they went with a pale.
I mean,
which I don't mind.
I love.
I like a pale ale for a fresh hop
because
it controls more of the variables.
There is in
the flavor profile.
There's a fantastic malt flavoring in this. Oh no, it's a hazy IPA. Excuse me, not a pale.
But it makes sense.
Yep, my bad. But oh man, listen to this. So here's what they're doing with this. They're using the fresh Amarillo, but later they're dry hopping it with more Amarillo, Cryo Simcoe, and fresh Citra. All from the Yakima Valley.
Yeah, and so Cryo is one of the other. It's one of the other storage methods.
Yeah, new kinks, new.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right now, I think it qualifies as a kink, but eventually that might be a completely normal way to do it.
But what's fascinating about this is they have managed to dial back the Citra and Simcoe, because those two hops are so alpha heavy that they usually just dominate and punch you in the face. Yes. So what they've created is a balance of the malt in this because it's a beautiful malt taste that is balancing out those two heavy hops to let the Amarillo come through and have this beautiful floral expression with the orange undertaste, with the citra undertaste.
Yeah, the platform, right?
Yes, exactly.
But again, because the citra and Simcoe are being added as a dry ingredient, they're not on the boil, right?
Right, exactly.
So that level of alpha extraction isn't the same.
They're more
bitterness inflections.
The bitterness is not coming through from it. I cannot recommend this beer enough. I am going to go buy more.
Yeah, just to bring it over your mitts on it. So, like I was saying, so ENIAC is sort of like the tent pole over at Lucky Envelope, and so now, at least as a retail excursion for them, ENIAC is now a series.
Mm-hmm.
So they use the same build.
Yep.
But then they experiment. They experiment with the hopping in it,
and it's such a brilliant idea. I mean,
exactly. So they're calling this. They're calling this a hazy. I don't know about that. I typically in a hazy, it is hazy. That's how I would put it.
Well, so here's the thing: it doesn't have to be hazy. The point is, it's juicy, right? All the hops are added after boil, right? Thoughts, comments, concerns?
Hello. I went away for a little while, but I'm back.
You had a little bit of a vision quest there. What was going on?
Yeah. So what I think Lucky Envelope excels at more than anything else is crisp and clean.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really fuck with crazy body in their beers, right?
No,
they don't mess around with. They don't mess around. They don't get super crazy with their malt builds generally. What they like to do is they like to add novel. They like to inflect a base model malt that they have with something novel.
Right.
I think people who brew with peppers, certainly we've done it.
We've done it. Oh,
and
God,
it was a dangerous. Ghostly will tell you.
No, the best expression of that was on Lydia's face, and Josh captured it perfectly for the weekly stream recap when she tasted that beer. Her experience was just premium for our pepper.
Yes, but the 2-pepper ale that they do, is really, really successful because the body and the platform underneath it is so crisp.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
right? It actually works. If it was like syrupy or had a different kind of body and it was,
it'd be too rich almost. It'd be cloyy, rich.
It doesn't. No, we don't want that. This is definitely. It is not in that fresh hop continuum, and so the complexity isn't there.
Right.
But this is so crisp and so refreshing that it is essentially, it's a vacation for the mouth.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a vacation for the mouth.
We have 2 winners here.
Yeah. Yeah. And two local heroes, to be sure.
Yeah. And the scary thing is that this thing is like 6.7% ABV. And I'm supposed to play, Chris from Asmati and I are playing War of the Ring later today on stream. I'm going to lose just because I'm going to be completely.
Well, who knows? But who knows if that sacrament will allow you to part the veil?
Yeah,
probably not.
Probably not.
My guess is that you're correct. That there's going to be some danger there for you. Are you just playing the TTS mod?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That TTS mod looks like a professional product.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing about Tabletop Simulator. It's like, is it a wretched hive of scum and villainy from an IP perspective? Yes. But are there acts of fan worship for these games that
undoubtedly
that crest the ecclesiastical? Yes. Mm-hmm. Also true. Yeah, Blind Cleric is saying play the dwarves, and then you'll sort of have a straight line through. The thing about dwarves, though, I think that dwarves are not IPA drinkers. That's just my guess.
I'm going to throw that one out there too, and just say probably more. Of
my guess is that they're looking for something a little bit different.
But maybe, you never know.
Indeed, maybe something
when they travel, when in Rome.
Yeah, but it could be something like we're trying to put together today.
Yeah.
Right. So let's take a look at it now. Speaking of the ancient traditions that we have here on the show, I am going to hit the Twitch poll overlay, and it may be a very moving experience for you in the chat to see that precious voting context arise again. Keep in mind that the announcement that you're going to receive in the channel to give you the basics about voting, you may have to reacquaint yourself with it briefly. But you're gonna get at it. Looks like Baca has already found the clip of the ghost pepper beer. Good Lord. God. You see, and understand they were never using ghost peppers. Lucky Envelope never considered ghost pepper as an ingredient. They didn't go that route. They used other peppers.
Yeah. Oh God.
Right. Now, yes, Ghostly says, yeah, maybe I let that steep for a bit long. Yeah, it was pretty hardcore, son. That was some real shit. But again, the basic concept, no problem with it. And ultimately, I think that it was just a matter of, how long do we leave the dry edition in?
Yeah, I actually liked it. I didn't think it hit you, but I still enjoyed it.
It was hardcore. It was hardcore. I mean, look, like every beer that this mystic process generates, there is always something, not even just like salvageable. There's always something very clever in it, and it would only take a couple. The fact is that this process results in potable beers at all is itself a kind of startling revelation,
right?
And so it's fine. Now, here, so Daphne, you know what? Pull that down real quick, and before we continue on to the next phase, let's just take a look at the golden legacy.
Well, first, let's talk about Lloyd, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Lloyd is our bartender when you head to the Abyss Bar. Serves a mighty fine ale. But here are all the beers that are available in Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, there's a couple. You're not even done.
No. Look, they keep going. So they're in a couple different categories, right? So there's the first 3 original beers they made, all with their own individual mugs.
The beers generally have custom mugs and like foam art from Lloyd,
right?
In the top of the glass. And so before you take a mission, it's such a great ritual. Before you take a mission, like literally every time, unless it's something a buff that is just like not applicable at all, you always go order a round for your friends,
right?
Drink it, turn the jukebox on, and then dance around for a little while between missions. Like this happens virtually 100% of the time, right?
Absolutely.
And so these top ones, those are the drinks that are always available. They tend not to do anything
Leaf
in
Lovers
particular,
special,
but Leaf Lovers does something good.
Yeah. I like if you have something bad like the black backbreaker stout, or not backbreaker, but the Arkan stout, which just knocks you on your tail and makes the screen go fuzzy.
Well, yeah, their drunkenness effect, I find a little too real.
Yeah.
But Leaf Lovers is an elven beer, basically, in the concept that is so weak that it actually kills your buzz.
It's a killjoy.
So you might want to grab a mug of Leaf Lovers before you go down so that you can see. And I've made the mistake of getting into the drill ship and going down for work while still trashed.
It didn't end well.
It didn't start well. The whole thing was bad. But what we're going to be investigating today is the second category that EJB has here. So today's special, one of these is always available. Occasionally it'll be available for 2 missions. It's just a range of time. And these are all essentially like potions. They're beers as potions, right? And so the fantasy here is that we can make one of these real so that we can have it in real life. That's going to get me cranked up. Now, I chose a few already.
Now, do you want to talk about Pots of Gold and the story we just accomplished and the fantasy that we fulfilled?
Absolutely.
Recently.
It would be my great pleasure. And so, in addition to everything else you're being sent down to get underground, You also have there's other minerals that you need to progress your character, basically to craft upgrades, right? And they're just found in the level proper. You can there's like an exchange rate. You can buy and exchange one mineral for another, but generally speaking, you want to try to have as much of this stuff as you can. And Pots of Gold is essentially a beer that acts as a multiplier for every chunk of gold you pull out of the wall.
Yeah. Pots
of Gold gives you more of it. And so if you find a mission that already has a gold bonus in it, like it's especially rich, or when you kill enemies, they generate gold or something like that, a cup of Pot of Gold before that mission turns things into a fucked realm. Mm-hmm. But there is also an incredibly rare bug that you can find down there. So a big part of Deep Rock Galactic is the fact that the whole world is really, really mutable. Mm-hmm. Right? So think about like Red Faction, but very silly. And you're basically playing at a level at a time.
Yep.
Right? It's randomly generating a place for you and your friends to go and adventure. And it's tough. It's generating cool encounters at the right times to give you a neat experience. Then you got to race back to the ship and get home. Right? That's basically the arc every time. But because everything is destructible, they can introduce enemies that are in fact that are really, really serious. And so there's a thing called a detonator, Glyphid bulk detonator. Basically, you destroy one of these things, it destroys a sphere.
It is a nuclear bomb underground as you destroy this.
It just annihilates everything around it.
Yep.
And just chunks it out, right? But there is a variant of it called a Crassus bulk detonator. The Crassus bulk detonator does the same thing, but every surface that it destroys in that sphere becomes coated with gold.
Yeah.
And so if you come down in there with Pots of Gold and then you see the Crassus and then you lure that Crassus into a tunnel you have made for this purpose so that it covers the maximum surface area with gold, you will be mining gold for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes we were cracking that gold on the side, ceiling, and floor of that.
It was like a real job in real life.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
No,
but it was 40 or 20,000 gold from that mission.
Yeah.
The fantasy was real.
We may be done with the gold portion of these characters. Yeah. And so so that's an example of something that'd be really fun, but they don't really go into it. And because the foam is always on the top of the beer, outside of something like Backbreaker Stout, or Skull Crusher Ale, or Slayer Stout, we actually get to determine all this stuff, right? There's only a couple of cases where there's anything laid in. And the fact of the matter is if you're familiar with the program, you know that even stout can be pretty broad.
Oh, it's a general term.
Inside the build. In fact, we've produced blonde stouts,
which on came this out very fantastic.
Exactly. But
those were spectacular.
Blonde stouts on this very program that seek to emulate some of the rich character of a stout, but in a beer but it gets at it from a completely different ingredient perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, God, what did we have? I'm trying to remember which ones were our blonde stouts. Well, I mean, if we go down this incredibly huge
you will find one. But yeah, I mean, take a look at this. I mean, listen, this is the legacy of this show.
Alter Ego was a blonde stout.
Oh, Blind Cleric, Godspeed. But take a look at this, right? I mean,
yeah, if we go from top to bottom, the last beer we made, Get Lich or Die Trying.
Right here, so I mean, let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at that just to look back in time, right?
Yeah. So the last one we made, Get Lich or Die Trying, was a stout. Then we had Midsummer Night's Dram, which I am excited for. This is still.
But look at the color. I mean,
look at it.
We started, playing around with like lighter beers, but it's like, how can we do a lighter beer justice?
Right.
Like, how can we make something that's light in color, but still executes a concept?
Exactly. And remember, we put honey malt in this as well for a Pilsner.
God damn.
This has been lagering since the before times, right?
Yeah. So there's In for a Penny, which is farther down. That was basically the sort of 21st anniversary of Penny Arcade.
Yep.
We have that.
Here's Dirt Nap.
Yeah, but they're late. But these beers are actually laid up.
Oh yeah,
aging, and because we don't tend to do a lot of really heavy IPAs, they'll age just fine.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, they're going to be fantastic.
Proto, well done. Yeah, I was just gonna say. No, Ghostly is sitting in the fridge lagering. Exactly right. Exactly right. And they are not. Trust me on this, Gathered Throng. They are improving.
Yeah, they're
every day. Like they are the right ones to have been back there working on it.
In for a Penny is going to be one of the smoothest beers we've ever tried.
Because the fact of the matter is, look, we're doing the show, back in the day, we're doing the show every week, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're pulling them we're grabbing them when they're done fermenting and they're ready to go, right? Mm-hmm. So even the loggers haven't had a time, to lager.
Right.
And sort of figure out what they're about.
Right. We essentially, I don't want to say quick lager them, but we typically get them out as early as.
Exactly right. Because we're excited, right?
Yeah.
But we're not about letting them just ride.
Yeah.
And this is actually working, right?
Yeah.
So we actually have an opportunity to go the whole way, which is great. Now, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to the Twitch poll overlay.
Okay.
I'm going to start a poll, and Josh tested it before, and I think that when I click poll, I think that you will see a poll on your screen. So that is going to help us know which one of these we should do.
Yeah.
Right. And I got a range of 5, like the ones that I'm most excited to see for today's special. Mm-hmm. Any one of these, and especially for new players or people who are just coming into it, I've also put in the subtext sort of what they accomplish in game.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
If one of those is more exciting for you to envisage, right? You want to try to figure out what that particular buff means in terms of...
Oh, look at that poll. It's so great to have it back up.
Isn't it nice?
Aw. Man.
I know.
So let's talk about some of these other beers.
Oh, Selleck. Oh, I vote for a tropical rum drink.
Yeah.
But listen, we've always said that we could do a mixology one. And the truth is that Jeff has found an opportunity, at least 2, I think, to ply his trade as the preeminent tropical drink manufacturer.
Yeah, God.
During PAX Online, please recall.
He is the Green Flame. Master.
The Green Flame was his invention.
I mean, it goes well with his shirt, right? His shirt collection, I should say.
Oh, yeah. It's a unified principle.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased. Now, I would never say, what people should. I would never say like what people should do.
Well, I think it was Stiggs in the chat who said the beer is already named Imagine a Dark Morkite.
Well, yeah, it's already in there for
God.
Sure. It's already in there for sure. But I do appreciate this chat because they're doing exactly the ones that we like. In fact,
I know.
Because there's certain missions where the job is to get these massive chunks and then manually haul them back to the base.
But, I think we need to have a serious talk about leftover Morkite. All right. I mean, there's just veins upon veins of Morkite. And I feel horrible leaving it down there as a true miner.
Yeah. So
I want to bring it up.
Yeah, well, that's the dwarf in you. So basically you get sent down to this hellhole and they're like, hey, you need to grab this much Morkite. But there's lots more Morkite down there for you to get, but they don't care. It's like, I don't know why they need that specific amount. I think it's worth considering.
Right? Tiki Mom, I am a rum person, so that's why I'm waiting for the pandemic to be over to sample some of Jeff's concoctions. Because I love tiki drinks.
No, it's pro tier. So it's starting to look to me, I mean, it's something of a knife fight to be sure, but it's starting to look to me like Dark Morkite is going to pull out.
Look at this.
Yeah, if you were just...
Are we already having a runoff? I mean, this is amazing.
It's close. Well, I am all about doing it again and then trying to make another one of these. Just if for no other reason. Like the funny thing about Deep Rock Galactic is that I've purchased it And like some games, they overdo the extra stuff you can buy.
Right.
Right. Like we don't even need to go into it. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
especially in free games, but even in full price games, they're doing all kinds of horse shit. Right. Like unskippable ads in NBA. That's kind of novel. When I say novel, I mean horse shit. But but here's the takeaway.
Yeah.
I wish that they had some other way. I mean, every few months they put out a cosmetic pack, and I buy it.
And I want it.
I mean, not necessarily because I need that cosmetic pack, but because I want some way. The team has done everything they can.
Yeah.
Like they have honored the players of this game, and so my fantasy is that we can do something like that here, collectively, right? Collaboratively. Like, what if this was a real thing that they could have?
Yeah.
I think that's all right.
I mean, now we could send them bottles of this after it's brewed.
Well, no, that's a reality. That's a reality. But look, we got to say that Dark Morkite came out on top of this one for sure.
I love it. As our first deep rock beer, I am thrilled that it's Dark Morkite.
So Dark Morkite, purely in a game context, right? Dark Morkite means that it takes less time to do like one of the fundamental quest types in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Pots of Gold, but Pots of Gold is never going to be the mission. Gold is something you get extra. Dark Morkite actually saves you time on the mission to get back to the ship, which is kind of hot. Here, so Zaga Finele. So everybody should know that our technomancer, Mike Buland, Zaga here in the chat, is a founding member of our Deep Rock Galactic crew.
Yeah.
EJB, Buland, and our friend GM Foe, who I have had a drink with at every PAX, I think, for about 10 years. So it's a really, really good squad, good friends, good fun. So how will we get the color of the Dark Morkite? Now, the Dark Morkite.
Oh, God, yeah, we have the ritual to go through now.
As I suggested, Dark Morkite, if we're looking at this, dark ale, premium quality, Dark Morkite original taste. Now, dark ale is actually quite broad, linguistically speaking, from a brewing perspective.
Sure.
The window is kind of wide for what would constitute a dark ale. And keep in mind that there's always that cap of foam on top. We never actually really see the color inside the cup, right?
Right. So if we're going with a dark ale, it doesn't mean we have to go with a dark ale for this, but
I think that wherever possible, we should interpret it correct and then come in and do our own thing. But you can arrive at darkness on the Lavabond scale. Of course, easily. The channel knows this because you're about to show them the same thing you showed them every other time for like 2 years.
I absolutely.
Right?
God,
the channel knows that there are a million ways for us to arrive at that dark color.
Oh God, Orion, you are speaking my language.
Well, see how nice, but also how nice is it to see? Man. How nice is it to see Orion Rogue in the channel?
I know, right? This is great,
right? Yeah, brown stout dunkel.
Oh exactly. God, I gotta find an SRM chart.
It's so broad, right? A greenish twinge. Oh, that's true, J3Z. You know what? I have actually had dark ales that have a mint aspect, and essentially there's a lot of dark grains that you can use that'll confer the Lavabond scale color that we want, the SRM. Yeah. But they also have a chocolatey taste.
Absolutely.
If you combine that with something herbal on the mint side, that bite plus the chocolate is actually really nice, like a grasshopper type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Not a grasshopper literally. Now, you may recall, chat, that we did eat a lot of bugs for you at one point.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody. I don't know if there's any
that.
subs.
I didn't want to recall that.
Saprobate, thank you so much. I don't know if there's anybody out in the chat that can put a link in there to the bug phase, but That's one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done. And it was very trying. And then being goaded the entire time by Josh Price.
Oh, he was back there loving life. Let's just say loving life.
It was good.
That was like payback.
Yeah. So Takun says that Dark Harvest has a chocolate mint vibe as well. But I mean, we have something like, there's like 96 episodes of the show. There's a lot of stuff in there. If the rest of the body is a little bit lighter, it's still going to come at it. It's still going to come at it in a unique way.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, one of the first ones we could easily point our way to is an American brown ale. Because that can take the color, any color that we want, any flavor. It's going to give us the broadest of spectrums, really.
Yeah. We can do an American brown ale, and then just we can goose how dark it would typically be. We can take that style and then put a spin on it so that it gives us the right color.
Right. Because think of what was the beer we did for the Nut King? The Secret Stash.
Oh, Secret Stash is one of my fucking favorites.
Right. And that was a brown ale that we manipulated to fit that.
Yeah, exactly. So that was just the substrate, essentially.
Yep, exactly.
So American brown ale. You got tasting notes for me on that?
Sure. Yeah, we'll give you some tasting notes. A malty but hoppy beer with chocolate and caramel flavors. I mean, that sounds like dark Morkite to me.
I would love that. That sounds killer. It'd be so cool if we had Dan here, because the truth is that we know brewers like over at Two Beers. Yeah.
Nut Lord, that's it.
No, if we do another episode on this theme, and honestly, I think that we should, it might be really nice to get tapped into the brewmaster, who also is a master of brown ales, by the way, from Two Beers.
Yeah.
Because he has experimented.
Yeah, he's great.
But he's experimented substantially with minerality in beers, which I think would be perfect for
Are you kidding me?
The Deep Rock Galactic. Like come at it, temper the water in a mineral way.
Yep.
And then layer a beer on top of it. I would love to see it.
Yeah. What do you think about a black IPA?
I think that you definitely do a black IPA, but you might just ease up a little bit on the hop aspect.
The PA, yeah.
yeah. Maybe you just maybe you wind that back a little bit. CC Nowhere, thank you so much. Yeah, so Sandzone is like, hey, do the darkest of harvests get that black IPA? Absolutely. I mean, listen, the very first beer we ever made on this fucking show.
Oh my God. And it
still holds Priest.
Still holds true.
The War Priest was that black IPA.
Those first two beers are still...
It can't be beat.
War Priest and Velvet Cape are still some of the best beers.
Velvet Cape? How about Velvet Rope?
Oh, how about Velvet Rope, too?
How about that classic insider play where we take the base thing from the channel and then make that quick mod, and then we bring it to an SCA event and get drunk at a house and home by psychos we've never seen before at 11 at night who roll through with their goddamn drinking horn. And it's like, I'll take some more of that. It's like, I don't know what the rules are here.
But the thing
you need
was,
to sing me a song or something.
In a car to go find more kegs of beer because we ran out because it was so good.
Yeah, well, Action Economist, I'd love it. I would love to tap it in. I mean, that's why I put it out on the social media. And then one of the devs actually was in that thread.
Yeah.
So bare minimum, I'm going to make sure that the VOD goes out to them, just because a non-trivial part of it is that we just want them to feel loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's one of the only good things that's fucking happened this year.
Yeah. Like I want to do as much for that game as humanly possible.
Yeah. I just love those guys. So yes, black IPA, that's an easy one. So black IPA, basically it has a hoppy character, but it tends to have a roasted note, right?
Yeah, but what do you? Yeah. Hoppy and caramel, a little bit of roast, not too much. What do you think about a Belgian dark strong ale?
I think that Belgian dark strong seems pretty fucking dwarven to me.
Right? Like it's complex.
Yes.
Malt flavor, dark fruits, and a lot of spice.
and it is, I mean, it's also directly in the ale continuum, right?
I want to read this one part of the sentence: complex, rich, smooth, and dangerous. That's in the description.
Motherfucker, you're thumbing the scale on this one. You can't pitch that. They have to be the ones to decide, but dangerous, I'm going to put in all caps. Style, it's up.
Okay, cool. God, that's amazing.
The die is cast. But yeah, I mean, Belgian Strong is just always, that's like a fin du monde.
Yeah, absolutely. The fin du monde. Yeah.
They're heavy, but they're heavy by virtue of richness. It's a mouth puzzle in some ways. Yep. There's a lot to tease out. And especially once you start messing around with, if you're starting to address those ingredients with a Belgian yeast, it exposes a lot of really sophisticated stuff.
Right.
Weirdo tastes for perverts. Yeah, I said it. The truth is, I have an endless appetite for manufacturing these things. I'd love any opportunity to take one of those other angles. The truth is, there's other dark beers, specifically textually referenced, right? Yeah. That we can address with a black IPA. But the dark Morkite, like, you want that. It basically has to be like, it's like a bread pudding you can drink.
Oh yeah,
God, it gives you the vigor that you need to scratch these minerals out of hoxas, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh God! So and the fun part about this, if it looks to me, it looks like the dark strong ale is winning. So what I'm gonna say is, if we do go with this beer, then we put chunks of rock candy in it, or the Belgian candy.
Oh, candy sugar.
Candy sugar, right?
Yeah. Well,
and it comes sugar in rocks.
Well, here, show them. You have access to the thing. Just show them what this stuff looks like. You get it in a bag that looks like a bag of candy. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Neon Graveyard. Essentially rations in a beer. Mechanthrope says, my only complaint with a dark strong is that it doesn't seem like a working man's beer, but these are space dwarfs. Keep in mind that today's specials, those come from,
looks like.
Those come from the company, right? Those are, the Abyss Bar is stocked entirely with that stuff, and they're going to put anything in there if it means that these dwarves they keep sending down extract the goods.
Right. So there's the beer, or the dark Belgian candy. That's what it looks like. That's what you throw into the boil.
Right. And it's just chunks. It's chunks of this candy sugar that get melted down, and then they're part of the mix for that Belgian yeast to feast on.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we're talking about dark strong for sure.
All right. So let's hit it here.
Yeah, I was going to say Neon Graveyard. That's perfect, because it's sort of like the mineral chunk that you just like throw into the pot, right? Oh, I haven't had some of New Belgium's crazier stuff, Niekman, just because there's so much cool stuff that is explicitly local that ends up at my corner store.
Yeah.
So, and especially right now, you really have to, if you spend $1 at your store, you really have to be thinking about your own community to a certain extent. This is a really, really dangerous time to own a business, especially one that, like a lot of the local breweries, really does rely on human beings being able to gather.
Right. Exactly.
And the lifeline that's been extended is quick canning facilities, mobile canning trucks, automatic labeling. Like, these are the things that have enabled that sort of thing to continue.
Right.
And it's, like I said, it really can't be overstated. It's a very, very scary, very dangerous time to be in that line of work. And so if I can spend that money locally at the store, I got to do it. Cookie Mom, yeah. Local breweries, there are some that have pivoted to sanitizer, especially distilleries. Yeah. I mean, especially distilleries. It's a pretty lateral move for them.
Because essentially you take the heads that they can't use anyways, and that makes the sanitizer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I head in there, next time I head down there, I'll see what they have. But my corner store really has converted most of the shelf space to local stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty great. Like, I'm
so glad
supporting the community.
It's so goosed.
Yeah, especially here. I mean, at least in Seattle, and I mean, there are specific regions in the country where it's brewery heavy, right? And we are kind of blessed with having a brewery almost on every corner.
Yeah, so yeah. I like that, and I would like that to continue to be the case, basically. Yeah. So we got that. Now, what's next? Is it time to start looking at?
Let's talk about our ABV. How do we want this to hit?
I'm going to pull up a notepad. Just as I did in the old days. ABV.
And so long ago.
SRM. ABV. Yep.
So ABV on this, typically Belgians are stronger. Right?
Yes. It is called a Belgian strong ale for a reason.
Yeah. You're going to be getting around 8 to 12%. Now, is this a beer? I mean, this is a beer to go down deep and dig. So is it a beer to stem off?
No, the question that we have to consider here is the Belgian dark strong is always going to be providing impetus to the minor.
Right.
It's always going to be providing vigor.
Right.
But is there a point at the 12 threshold where they may not come back with the minerals because they have achieved a state that is, inimical to success and endeavor?
Listen,
8, maybe that's not enough vigor. But maybe 12 is too much. But story-wise,
right.
Let's consider this.
Maybe 8 is what gets the work done, which makes you work harder. Maybe 10.3 is kind of a balance in between, but 12 is more of, remember when you die and you're surrounded by glyphids biting into you?
Indeed,
when you're down.
Well, see, Action Economist is correct here, right? This is also one of today's special company beers. Now, the last piece of scale thumbing I'm going to do, and keep in mind that you can change your vote very, very easy. They're not human beings. So and they also appear to be composed at least partially of rocks. So it may be that 12% is where things start for dwarves. So keep that in mind as well.
But yeah, exactly. So
yeah, Gamer Gout. My fantasy has been to do some touring down in Oregon as well. I know that Portland has like a distillery district now.
Yep, we've talked about this a couple times.
Take that train down.
Woo. Yep. The Cascade, right? Isn't it called the Cascade?
Yeah, get that sleeper car.
Yeah.
Woo. It should be no big surprise to you, Mr. Benson, that these beasts.
I don't know.
The truth is, it's kind of a knife fight. Honestly, 10 to 12, they both work.
The fun thing is, I like 10 as a drinkable beer.
Yeah, for humans.
Yeah.
For humans.
Yeah.
But it's close. It's close.
It is very close.
Yeah. Underdogag says, let's split the difference and go with 14.
Sure. That makes, solid math.
Oh, so it looks like Josh jumped in there. You want the Coast Starlight train or whatever it's called. It takes longer, but such a better experience. Yeah, I think that traveling by train.
I love it.
Well, you're from out east, right? It's more common there anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad
travel into the city on the train. Yeah.
My dad worked he was what's called a switchman brakeman for Burlington Northern. So that's all material, right? Yeah. It's not, people don't really, except for the people that drive those trains, people don't drive on those trains.
Right.
But they had an arrangement with Amtrak that would let you get very cheap tickets, and so just the most civilized shit. And then when we were we went from Munich to, gosh, no, we went from Rome to Venice on the train, and then we went from Venice to Munich, which the Italians don't call Munich. No, that would be too easy. They call it Monaco di Bavaria.
Wow, really?
It's not the same. If you are not from there and you look at the list, you think you've gone to the wrong place.
I'm going to the racetrack. Great.
Anyway, but those trips, like that was from 2003. I probably think about that stuff every couple of days.
So I know I can't wait to take the Germany trip. That's fantasy number one.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying that all it's going to be, man, we're just going to have our books. We'll have a couple games. We'll roll around. Good. You know what would be baller for the train?
Yeah.
If we could get seated and have a place to put that stuff.
Yeah.
What's that? Epic Tiny Tactics.
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic. I mean, it's perfect size.
Yeah.
I have a friend back east who owns a train car, and it's his business.
Really?
And what he did was it's a luxury train car, and you have to pay Amtrak to hook up to their train.
Yeah.
But it's like the Orient Express, where you go and you ride from Albany down to New York City, but you have lunch, dinner, whatever food. And It's all this beautiful old Pullman train car that's been completely refurbished with the bar in it and everything.
That's kick-ass.
There's still people that do that kind of stuff, and you can go and find it and really have a blast with it.
Yeah. Skierek says, to be historically correct, Belgian beers cap more or less at 10%.
Yeah.
Our readout here in Beersmith allows for slightly larger ones. We occasionally mess with tradition when it has some other story purpose. And I think that for Dwarven Miners, it capping out at 12, as the chat said, only one vote was the difference between those two. But our ABV is 12.
Okay.
Hey, so did you find that scale that we've been using for years?
Of course. Let me see if I can pull it up. Whoop.
Yeah, Epic Tiny Mechs has little meeples. They have item meeples, right? That you can actually put equipment on. Oh, there's that Lava Bond scale we love so well. Now, it's the Dark Morkite. Keep that in mind. So we probably want this range to exist down in the darkest places.
So generally,
but it's not a black IPA, right? I mean, it's going to be dark, but it doesn't have to be jet black. Yeah, no. So generally, what a Belgian strong is going to be between 12 and 20. Mm-hmm. But we can blast that out of the water and go much. I'm saying, listen, let's throw the lever hard. Yeah, let's say 20, 30, 40. I love it. And I mean, if you think about it, think of things like Delirium Nocturnum. Yes. That's the same kind of concept. Exactly. And people, I mean, there's been lots, and anything that exists in this, just because it's dark, it means it's darker than an ale. It doesn't mean it's a stout. It just means that it is not a Pilsner. It's not, it doesn't exist in that lower range. Right. But I think that those are all beautiful colors for sure. Oh, absolutely. They all make sense. Oh, Zaga Finele, which is to say, Mike Buland, has thrown a picture of Morkite right into the chat there for you to take a look. Oh, well, let me. Oh, thank you. I'll pull it over for us. Yeah, so this is, I mean, even just seeing it now is the desire has been, it's been set alight. I want to get all of it, and I want to stuff it into my mobile minecart. Yeah. Yep. So Mali, we need to do a beer from Mali. Oh, Molly would be the best.
I mean, she is part of the team.
Molly is the best. God. Can you give it that green look? Well, I think that the ale is designed to help us secure the Morkite. It does not necessarily
have to be the Morkite, yeah.
Indeed. Although it almost certainly, it probably has a little bit. That's just my guess. I think that's part of the marketing.
Really. Yeah. It's like iocane powder. You just put a little bit in, get situated to it, and makes you feel, makes you pack it a little bit better.
It's 30, my friend.
Okay, perfect.
And what is the third in our triumvirate?
The third is the bitterness.
It's IBU, right?
Yeah. So generally they have between 20 and 35.
So at the lower level of an IPA, the very lowest.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we look at an IPA, those generally start at about 55. So that's a really good gauge for everybody when you think about your a normal IPA, not the bonkers, stuff that gets put out.
Right. Now 20 is not going to be
20 is going to let the malt flavor really shine through. 20 is going to let 20 is
telling us
the dark fruits come through.
20 is telling us that the body of this thing is what's most important.
Right.
MAG,
IBU stands for International Bittering Units. Or Bitterness Unit, yeah.
Yeah. So let's play around with it at 20, 25.
Yep.
And 30. Because the Belgian strong, I mean, the flavor profile is a lot of it's going to be derived from how the yeast is reacting with that sugar.
Right.
So it's going to be a strangeness, and I think that the key is going to be choosing the right hop.
I agree.
To kick the rest of this off, right?
Yep.
Oh, Beth, so nice to see you in there. Yeah, so Zaga, I've been playing solo just so I can see the DRM, or not the DRM, the HDR stuff.
You really are thinking about.
I am. Just so I can see the HDR palette stuff in the experimental branch of Deep Rock Galactic. And so I've had a lot of opportunities to develop a relationship with Bosco. Oh, he loves it, and Bosco has a bunch of cool sounds that because I mostly play in multi.
Great, yeah.
Because I mostly play in multi, I never get a chance to see it. All right. Well, here let's get through the back half of this because Mike is going to be coming in here soon.
Oh yeah, jeez.
Remember that was the hard limit, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's 25. So we got
that's a good that's
we're gonna have it's gonna be there.
Yep.
But it's part of the team. It's not jumping out ahead, right?
Yeah, it's really there to smooth out the malt and the sweetness from the malt.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our base grains. You know it, you love it. The classic for a belt, or one of the classics that we can put in is we can put in a Belgian 2-row. This is, 2-row is generally clean and crisp. This is just going to add a twinge of sweetness to it.
Yeah, so crisp and sweet.
Yep.
Okay.
The other one we can do is, I think, we can get crazy and go with a Munich, which makes no sense, but it could provide a nice bready flavor to it.
Yeah, well, again, so part of this is designed to give you the strength and vigor.
Yeah.
To carry out this task, right?
Yeah.
So if it has that bready, wholesome substrate, we like this.
Right. So this could be a whole different take, and especially with how it plays off of the yeast as well. Or I'll throw this one, the last one out.
Yeah,
is Golden Promise. Sorry, you love it, I love it, we all love it.
Yeah, and so with Golden Promise, a little bit lower on the color scale, so we're going to come in on that and darken it with another tone.
Exactly,
right? And their taste.
Candies, caramels, anything we really want.
But Golden Promise is itself just mostly sweet.
Yep.
And as we determined in the before times, it's easy to. We've got local options for Golden Promise.
Oh, absolutely.
That are apex, just apex.
Some of the best malts we've ever brewed with were those Skagit Valley.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing, right? Is
Copeland
that
malts.
so Yakima? It's not just the hops. The state in general is just a beer engine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we really are kind of fortunate for that. And what's interesting is, so it was always the Pacific Northwest and New York that led the hops movement, but New York got hit with a blight, so hops just went away.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. I think Munich could be really neat.
I think Munich is. I mean, we're big fans. Munich is typically Munich is going to be what gets Mike involved.
Yep.
Just because just as a human being, when you come into contact with that flavor, you're like, you know what? I'm going to live for a while. Right. This is going to support the function of my body, right? Munich, it is.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun to experiment with.
Yeah, and it has a rich color too, right?
It's about a 9-10 on the.
Okay, so we definitely have to goose it then.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because we were going for 30.
Yeah. I'm always thinking about the Munich variants, some of which can be quite dark.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about our additions that we can put in. Which directions do we want to go flavor-wise with this? Do we want to do, because it's dark fruit, which is going to really come in from the yeast that we use.
Yes. It's going to chew on it big time.
Now we can put in some, if we don't want a lot of the darkness, do we want the darkness to come from the candied sugar?
Ooh, or do we want I love that. Well, here, so I think that in this context, the candy sugar is like our mineral addition.
Right.
Right. So if we throw in a dark, rich sugar and get our SRM from that, that's kick ass.
Okay. So do we just want to say that's defined because we could use, so there's a couple different kinds of sugars. There's clear, amber, dark.
Yeah.
And clear doesn't impart really much color. Amber is about a 75 on the scale. The dark is 275.
Well, here, you know what? This is basically standing in. I'm just going to put it in the chat. This is basically standing in like over this
Stig's red sugar,
massive vat, right? Yep. This is standing in over that. God, we could, because I was thinking about the beers from the Abyss Bar, but there's no reason that we couldn't address the game generally.
Right.
Red sugar, make a great sweet red ale.
Oh God, yeah, that'd be really cool. Like you have to go and mine red sugar.
It's not so literal,
to put
right?
in the beer.
Yeah, exactly. It isn't as literal as the other manifestations, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, if we can throw this dark sugar in there, that's again like in the ritual space. That's that manual addition,
right?
That is right at the top, right in the boil, changes the color, rich flavor, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, red sugar cream ale. You could easily do it.
Oh, who said that? Who put that in the chat?
That's Stiggs, of course. And so
Stiggs, that's a fantastic idea.
You build that up, and so you get that creamy, that rich body, right? It's rich, but it's refreshing.
Nickman, you want to see something really funny about Discworld? This is literally sitting on my shelf. I don't know if this will come through.
Oh, the old school, huh?
You see that? This is freaking old school.
It's so funny. It's exactly the wrong color, and so it just looks like you're holding nothing in the air.
Look at that. I think Eric Idle was the voiceover for that game.
Yeah. Look, they want that dark color.
Been doing a lot of cleaning.
They want that dark sugar, so let's give it to them.
I think that's really cool. Okay, so let's put dark sugar in here for the color. And that's going to help us boost our ABV.
Exactly. Well, it's going to boost the ABV, and it's also going to help us
with our
SRM.
Actually, it doesn't do much for the ABV. It depends.
It's Starting to look right.
What's really going to boost the ABV is, so in Belgians you put table sugar.
Yeah.
In. Regular table sugar is what boosts the
You
ABV.
pour it in to the top.
So let's add, what was our, let's keep it where it is now, because we might add some more items that are going to put in some color. So what do we want? What other flavors do we want in this beer?
Let's give them 2 options for a darker grain.
So we can go with crystal malt, which is going to really enhance the caramel flavor.
Hold on,
right?
By itself, because we've done this too. By itself, it's called crystal malt.
Yeah.
So it's already appropriate for deep
It's already appropriate.
So, Ren? The crystal malt is going to give us what? It's body, head retention, right?
Head retention, body, and more caramel flavor.
Yeah, I feel like body is going to be a big. I've had some thinner Belgian ales, and I feel like we want body in this.
We could also go with a Caribbean, which does the same thing, but it's going to be a little sweeter in flavor. And it's and you know what, D&D Dad, I appreciate you to no end.
Now, so
Special B.
Let's put those in there. What? It's too late. I already put it up.
That'll be the next one if we put a third one in.
Now, so because the beers in the game always have a massive foamy head on top, it's just part of the brand.
Yep.
I think we should consider ingredients that we might consider another ingredient that engages with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Well, if Crystal wins out, either one of these are really good. If Crystal, it looks like Crystal is winning out. Yeah, that's as much foam as we're going to need.
It's Crystal. Yeah. I'm just accepting it. It's already 3 times the other vote.
3 times the amount. So we can leave this beer as is, and it will be perfect.
Yeah.
Now, the two the next poll will be either no other additions or Special B, because Special B is going to throw an amazing amount of caramel into the flavor and the aroma of the beer. And D&D Dad had it right, and he knows my weakness.
Oh yeah, well, and it's just great too. And then you'll play around with the sliders a little bit for your SRM, but who cares? It's fine.
Oh no, wait, yeah, just watch. So we went with Crystal. Okay.
Yeah. I think that the scale thumbing for the name was just too good. I'll let Mike know we're close.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be. I mean, we can finish this next Tuesday if we need to.
We'll be. He's okay.
Okay.
And he likes the show, so he'll be fine. All right. Hey, so that is starting to look real good in the glass over there, Mr. Benson.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
I'm liking that. So
this beer is going to be a Kill Team special.
Oh, but dude, they're wrestling here.
Yeah, look
between
at this.
We're Good and Special B. It's like, look, everything is so terrible. Eric needs to put up a W right now. Like he needs this win. This is Eric shaming at this point.
Do you think it is?
No. No, they love you. That's why they tease you. All right. God, it's completely, this is some Shadow Council type shit.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where Josh comes in and screws with it to make sure it's a 50-50. I know Josh's ways.
I guarantee. So I am
that
going
special
to
EJB Takun.
I'm going to cover my eyes and click finish poll, and that's going to tell us what it is. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. You came out on top by 2 votes. All right. So toss in some of that special beet. Man, this malt body, like we got to go lucky envelope style and just work this base in a couple different directions. I mean, the truth is, it might be fun just to use a base like this, because in this case, the yeast is actually going to be what determines a lot of the profile, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is Deep Rock Galactic as a corporation, I mean, they're not sophisticated brewers. Is the way that this goes, do they have like a base body that they just inflect in various ways?
Oh, really? Yeah, I like that
this
concept.
Is so rich, so substantial as a beverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that we can do a bunch of really cool variants of this amazing base? God, because this looks so good, Eric.
Yeah, this looks amazing.
Right? We haven't even gone to the hop tier, but you differentiate them based on hops and special editions, right?
Yep. Okay, so we're hitting hops now?
Yeah, we got there.
So a classic one that I'm always going to suggest for this style of beer, and it makes sense, is Saz.
Oh, dude, Underdog is literally in the chat trying to get you to put Saz in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, earthy, peppery. Underdog egg, perfect, man. And look at this.
That sounds anything earthy, anything in the earthy line.
And actually, the D&D dad came back with my second choice, which would have been Hallertau.
Yep. Now, what's the profile there?
So we've got a couple choices. It's mild spice, but it's more of a clean hop. If we wanted to get a little more fruity, we could go with Hallertau Blanc, which is going to be passion fruit, grapefruit, pineapples, lemongrass, all those dark, fruits that we want to put in there as well.
Now, there's one I want to throw in, and that is Pearl. Can you pull up the tasting notes for
sure.
Pearl?
Absolutely.
I think it's P-E-R-L-E.
P-R. Yeah, there we go. Southern Hallertau. I have
spicy with herbal and floral. Spicy with herbal and floral, but one of the notes is mint.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. We used that for some beer, and I cannot remember that.
So in this context, it might be a situation where we're adding something that sort of almost, it's not medicinal, right? Mm-hmm. But it's going to move it into that herbal, almost that tincture vibe.
Yep.
Although the truth is, every one of these has that angle.
Yeah.
Right. So let's consider one of these bad boys. And then in terms of the yeast, I mean, there's a fairly fixed number we can.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. I mean, an herbal essence. Yeah, exactly. Takun. We've all seen the commercials. We know that fruit is involved with proper hair care. I mean, I'm a hair expert. I'm at the forefront.
You are always trying to figure out the next shampoo you need to buy.
Oh yeah. Always. Every day.
Yeah.
It's who I am as a person.
Listen, I've gone down the well since COVID of what type of hair products I need to be purchasing.
Well, yeah, clearly you look like someone that I would make in a character creator for an RPG. Just naturally every day when you come over, you look like fucking Bucky. Yeah. You look like Bucky fucking Barnes. I feel like we should be going on an adventure when you come over.
Yeah, exactly.
Trent says you're going to drop an industrial techno album. I can see it.
I can see that. I'm fine with that. Listen, the The system is down.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
system is down.
Judd Nelson, exactly. Yeah, that's right there.
The three I've gotten was Judd Nelson, Trent Reznor, and then Matt Mercer. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the CW version of Matt Mercer. Like, he's the better DM and he has the voice act.
Yeah, this is CW. Oh, man. Netflix, Matt Mercer.
Yeah.
All right. Asmati Games, what a pleasure.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Hey, Asmati Games, so glad to hear that One Deck Galaxy seems to have been ahead at Shucks' online excursion. That's awesome. All right. We're going with the Saws. I think Saws is going to be amazing.
I think that's a great freaking addition.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So then we just got to hook up a yeast, right? And in this context, of course, the name would be either Imagine a Dark Morkite, or we're really trying to manufacture theirs. And so, in this scenario, it already has a name. When we start exploring other concepts of Deep Rock Galactic, then we'll need to tap into your name generation engine.
Yep. Okay. Let's go with, the classic is the Belgian Dark Ale.
Exactly. Like this is what I was saying. I mean, the truth is that when you are making a Belgian,
right,
we sort of know what we need, right?
What it's going to do with the dark ale is it's going to bring out the malt flavors. Whereas we can also go with the strong ale, which is going to make it drier and more tart and fruity. So those are the two I think.
Interesting.
One's going to make it more malty. One's going to make it more drier and fruitier.
So we have the Belgian strong or the Belgian dark.
Yep, dark is more for the malt. The strong is more for the dryness and the fruit.
All right. Let's see what they give us here. And then, of course, Precious Chat, who now has as many names as Legion. You should know that immediately after we culminate this stream, Mike Krahulik will be here to draw tomorrow's comic. Before your very eyes.
Hey! And Asmati Games and I are going to be playing War of the Ring after him. So I'm excited for that.
Right there on TTS, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we talked about this already.
But I'm saying that this is how desperate things have gotten. Even Kiko is considering
really
TTS. That's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah. That's huge.
Okay. Yeah, Kiko. Okay. Yeah, he's doing fine. He's doing well. It's the Belgian Dark Ale, my friend.
Love it.
All right. Well, Precious Chat. Majesty, his hair grew because you can't go to haircut places necessarily. Now,
I smell Morkite.
Gamer Gout, I might pop in here and there. For sure.
Oh my God, Trance the DM, you're my hero. Terrible rye. For any of you Nine Inch Nails fans out there.
Absolutely. Terrible lie. All right, now. So you got this thing dialed in, it looks like. We've got something incredible here for our Imagine a Dark Morkite concept. Deeply rich, deeply robust. This is something that we have to drink right away.
We're gonna, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna take a bit. You want to get all the way to 12.
Oh yeah. We're gonna blast this with some more sugar and.
If you want to get all the way to 12 on this motherfucker, I mean, that's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
That yeast is gonna be working for a while. You're gonna come in and it's gonna be some hot shit.
Right.
But on the back end, obviously, it is gonna help you mine Morkite. Deep in the hell realm of Hoxus, for sure. So, Mr. Benson,
man,
Mr. Price, it appears as though we have succeeded. It seems like we were able to. It seems like we were able to deliver a version of the show that, at least for me, is actually still super fun.
Yeah.
In the digital realm, if we can get the brew shaming in.
Maybe I'm just gonna sabotage the beer
on the back end.
Show. It just
I think, Lane Winry, thank you so much. I think this is actually something that we can conceivably. I'm very, very comfortable trying it again. Let's discuss it afterward. Let me see what type of workload it is for Josh. But I feel like this is something that we can bring back if we want to, and be nourished thereby.
Literally.
Sounds all right.
Yeah.
Precious chat. Thank you so much for rolling through. I appreciate it at the maximum level possible. Thanks also to Josh Price, who manufactured this entire stream for your benefit. Handsome overlay, also care of Josh Price.
Let's not talk about the intro. That intro was
moi. And as always, of course, the Acquisitions Intoxicated Brewmaster, Eric J. Benson, in fine form, ready to do battle with Captain America at a moment's notice. We got no, gathered friends, stick around. Next up, we've got an hour or more of art from your friend and mine, Mike Krahulik. Stick around. We'll see you.